Hey everybody, it's Jeff here, just some dude. I know I said my next video would be about a serious man, but I haven't gotten around to watching it. And I just saw the latest episode of Breaking Bad, and I've been dying to talk about it with somebody. And since almost nobody I know watches it, why not talk to YouTube? Um, but so I guess like the first half of this video, I kind of want to talk about uh, why I like how I got into Breaking Bad and whether you should watch it if it's the right show for you. And then the second half is for people that actually do watch the show, and it's specifically about tonight's episode and why I think it's easily the best episode of season 3 so far. Anyways, Breaking Bad. I got recommended Breaking Bad by this guy Brian, who you know occasionally blogs on IGN, and I don't know what. I don't think he was applying this show specifically to me. He was just like, dude, Breaking Bad is an awesome show. You got to see it. You know, I think he would recommend it to anybody. And I pretty much would too. But for me, it's like a perfect show. It's one of my favorite shows now. Um, if you're into crime dramas at all or thrillers, you need to check out Breaking Bad. Um, I mean, to me, that's pretty much my favorite genre out there. It's the kind of stuff that, when it's done really well, it's what I wish I could write. In my wildest dreams. Pretty much my favorite show ever. This is easy, no contest. Is The Shield, and I don't know if you've ever seen The Shield. Probably a lot of people out there have at least seen one or two episodes. But if you were a big fan of The Shield, you need to check out Breaking Bad because it's very much in the same vein. It has the same intensity as The Shield, where it just kind of ratchets up every minute of every episode. Every next episode, it just gets more intense. So if you've never seen it, it's on AMC on Sundays. When the season's going. I think it's on at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock here, and it's a like I said, a crime drama about a high school chemistry teacher named Walt White, who is played by the dad from Malcolm in the Middle. I can't think of his name right now. Bryan Cranston. Who is just phenomenal in the lead role. He's a high school chemistry teacher who finds out he has terminal cancer, lung cancer, even though he doesn't smoke. And he has about a year to live. So because he's a high school chemistry teacher and he has no money and he has a family, and he has a wife, and he has a kid, and a kid who has cerebral palsy on top of it, because of that, he knows that they're going to be left with bills that they can't pay, including his medical bills. So he makes a drastic decision to start cooking meth and selling it. And basically in the process, he becomes a drug lord, and he gets sucked into this criminal underworld. It's pretty cool. They don't always play it up enough, but it's pretty cool thinking about this mild mannered high school chemistry teacher who has like this double life where he's this complete fucking badass drug lord. I mean, they play that up, but they don't. As the show goes on, they don't show as much of, like, you barely ever see him in the classroom anymore. So it doesn't play off of that as much as it goes down the road. But there is always this contradiction there. Um, and then the pilot episode, which is easily one of the best pilots for a TV show I've ever seen. It's better than the pilot for The Shield because in and of itself is its own little entertaining hour movie that is just really fun to see him getting sucked into this. And in that pilot, like, he hooks up with this kid that used to be one of his students, who's now like just this junkie kid who's in his 20s doing nothing with his life. And together they buy an RV and they start cooking meth out in the desert. That's your pilot episode for the most part. and it's a hardcore crime drama. You know, action will be happening all in every episode pretty much, and it does like The Shield. It has a very strong focus on plot. It doesn't meander like The Sopranos, which don't get me wrong, I love The Sopranos. The Sopranos didn't really have that much of a focus on story, and so that's my little pitch, man. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If that sounds good at all to you, if it sounds like it could be good, trust me, it's good. Watch it. But as for season three, now this is for people that have some clue what I'm talking about. Which I have to imagine, if you're watching this, if you stumbled onto this somehow, you must, you probably have watched Breaking Bad. Um, Season three to me, I think we're in the seventh or eighth episode now. The one I just watched tonight, I think could have been the seventh. Compared to season one and two, it is much has been much slower paced and kind of a disappointment. Although that's absolutely changed tonight, but it's been too slow. It's responding. I don't want to get too into the. Well, fuck it. If you're gonna watch this part of it, you have to. Here's your warning right now. Spoilers are coming. But the whole first half of the season three has been kind of them recuperating from the bad shit that went down in season two, and it's just been kind of slow and more focused on the effects that it's had, like the effects that their choices have had on their personal life, but not always in a very exciting way. But it finally paid off tonight. Like a lot of stuff paid off tonight, and over the course of like the first half of the season, pretty much. More than Walt or Jesse, his high school, or not high school anymore, but the kid that he cooks with, and everyone on the show, and scumbag lawyers and this and that. Probably the most interesting character has been Hank, who is the brother-in-law, who is also a DEA agent. And for the first two seasons, at least season one, they kind of played him for like a meathead. He's like this DEA big buff bald guy that's just kind of a meathead and doesn't really doesn't have much depth to him. And in this season, they've really focused on him. And dear Lord, this is already at 8 minutes. This might stretch into two videos. Sorry, guys. I didn't like prep for this or anything, and I did have a couple beers before I got on here. But this season, he's almost become the main character in a way. I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, he's become an extremely big side character. His investigation is kind of honed in on Jesse and Walt, so he's like getting closer to them. So he plays into the main plot, but they've really kind of dived into his character in this season, and I love it, man. I pretty much I think he's a great character. I care about him. I cared about what happened tonight. I'll tell you that much, which we'll be getting to in a minute. But they've gone to this whole thing where something happened. I think it was in season one or season two, where like they got called out onto this call out in the desert, and he got messed up. Like he didn't personally get messed up, but he almost got blown up by a bomb. And like since then, he's been having panic attacks, which I can relate to because I had panic attacks for 2 years, and they weren't fun. And they are real. It's not just obviously it's in your head, but it doesn't feel like it's in your head. It feels like you're dying. And so I immediately sympathize with him just off of that. But like the way it affects his job and stuff, and the way he kind of is revealed to be a fully three-dimensional character that is worth caring about, has been just really well done in this season. Couldn't have done it better. I was cheering for him tonight on what was happening in the episode. And so let's get into what happened tonight. We'll talk about that in the next episode, or in the next clip of this.